This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the town of North Haven.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the December meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners. My name is Dave Mons. I'm the chairman. I have Alden Mead to my far right, Mark Calafiore to my right, Vice Chairman Larry Lazaroff to my left, and Robin Wilson, our secretary, to his left. To start things off, may I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 20th, 2018 meeting, both regular and executive sessions?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion for approval of the monthly reports for November 2018?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Robin, any correspondence this month?
There is none.
No correspondence. Chairman's report. I just have a couple brief issues. One, on December 13th, we swore in Michael Stevens, who then started in the Milford Police Academy the next day on the 14th. I believe on that same day, Officer De Palma graduated, correct? He did not.
No, he graduates Friday.
Oh,
That was
sorry.
That was my error.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my error now as well.
Yeah.
Well, we'll look forward to that. And also, I had the honor of touring the new police building with the chief last Thursday. And it's now coming along very nicely. The architect has done a very good job integrating the old structure into the new structure. And it should be largely buttoned up for the winter, and they've got crews on site, and they're moving pretty quickly. I'd encourage anybody on the commission to take advantage of a tour like that. It's really impressive what they've done.
Is it possible for us to have a?
Yep, and I had something here that I can when I go into the building thing about how we can tour as hopefully a group.
Good.
It's coming along really nicely. And that's really all I have. And for those watching, everyone have a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Chief, your report?
Okay, and as well, on behalf of all of our officers, a Merry Christmas to everyone. A belated Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, anything else that you might want to celebrate. Happy and healthy New Year. As that's just as important as well. Just another reminder to please lock your vehicles and not to leave any valuables out in plain sight. There is some holiday shopping left. We have another week to do that, and we want everybody to be aware of their surroundings, park in well-lit areas, lock their vehicles, and again, if they see something that looks either out of place or suspicious, they really should call us. Speaking of a little added PSA, and this is something that we had recently in town. I actually received a phone call myself from the IRS. I received 2 phone calls from the IRS, and I think we talked about this in the past as well. The telephone and internet type scams. They're still out there. The IRS, it's the grandchild or the niece or nephew that's in trouble with law enforcement. Microsoft Office, somebody calling and telling you that your computer it's got a virus, and the triggers here are there's always an immediacy to take care of an issue or problem. They're very, very pushy. They want some type of a payment. They're looking for payment in the form of either wiring money, Western Union wiring some type of funds, or gift cards of some sort. they even have threatened, or being arrested, So we want to just remind everybody of these scams. Don't be taken. Everyone here in this room, we all pay taxes somewhere, and I don't know any of us that went downstairs to Stacy and offered her gift cards to pay for our vehicle taxes or our home taxes. So that's not the way government and big business does. That's not how they do business. So just...
Quick question, Chief. Do you suggest that people should call the police if they're a victim of these scams?
The
Or
best thing to
phone
do
calls?
is just to hang up. And just don't even, some people that, and you probably know a couple of these folks too, now they want to play along, and they get the person on the phone, and they want to play with them a little bit. Don't even bother. There's no way you can trace these calls, even these internet, addresses. You're not going to be able to trace them back. So the best thing to do is just let it go.
Okay.
Would it be fair to say, I think the IRS never makes a phone call to
The
you?
IRS doesn't
So
pick up
therefore,
phone
since they
by
don't
phone.
call you,
No.
if anybody says,
That's right.
Yeah.
that's the end of the line.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to send you a demand letter. It's probably going
Yeah.
to come certified mail. Might even come with a marshal attached to it. So
Yeah, something,
No,
but
that's
they
usually
never
when-
call.
it's you're in a different situation when that happens. And falling in line with that, well, I'll go into it afterwards. Something that occurred last week that was similar was the bomb scares that went nationwide, and this was something where they were targeting the businesses and the schools, and they were looking to receive some type of a ransom in the form of, I believe, a Bitcoin.
It was Bitcoin, yeah.
And so, we didn't have any of our schools targeted, but we did have 2 local businesses that received emails. So, fortunately, nobody was taken on that. As far as our budget, we're right on target right now. Matter of fact, we fronted some money for a cruiser out of our vehicle maintenance. So you'll see a dip in our vehicle maintenance account, a big drop from the past 2 months. And that was to replace a car that was damaged in an accident. There's been an insurance settlement, and I'm waiting for our finance department to call me back, because I understand the settlement's been paid, but it is now in the town's insurance fund. But since we fronted that money, I think it's fair and reasonable to ask that it be sent back to our vehicle maintenance. We fronted the money, and that's where it belongs. I don't think it should become a revenue stream for the town, but I'll let you know better next month how we made out.
So does that go through the first selectman or through Director of Finance?
That goes through Director of Finance and the finance, the finance board, I believe.
Okay.
So, it's just going to be some arm twisting. We just want to get what we fronted. It should come back to us. Next year's budget has been submitted, and there wasn't a whole lot to be asked for there. And part of that's because the union contract expires on June 30. So when July 1 kicks in, the likeliness of having a contract settlement by then is pretty remote. So we're gonna look like we're very flat for the budget season, but they'll adjust that once if there's any type of a salary increase at all after the start of the next fiscal year. So we're gonna look good on paper, at least for the start of the next fiscal year. We did receive a $10,000 JAG grant. That's the Justice Assistance Grant. Comes from the federal government. It was for $10,000, which doesn't seem like a lot, but what we were able to do was we were able to pick up 5 licenses for this Dragon software. It's voice recognition software. It's compatible with our software that we use with the Next Gen company. What we're going to be able to do is put this in the police cruisers. So if an officer has a traffic stop with a vehicle or has a suspicious person stopped on the side of the street, the officer can basically hit a hot button or a hot key on the laptop that's in his cruiser or her cruiser and talk directly into the laptop and request the information without taking their eyes off anything that's in front of them. So when you talk about street safety, this is quite an enhancement. They'll also be able to dictate into the same computer any of their case reports that they might be doing in the police car. So they won't be looking down and looking away. They'll be able to just talk and keep their vision out where it belongs.
Were we able to demo that before we bought the licenses?
We went to were you with me when I went out to Westbrook? We were able to look at it. It was pretty wild.
I've used it, it's pretty.
You've used it?
Yeah.
It's quite an enhancement when you talk about officer safety. And it was a one-time, each license I think was roughly $900 or something, one time. But then there's like a $100 annual fee. So for $100 a year, it's money well spent. And at the same time,
I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say at the same time, there was a little extra money that was left over, so we were able to get some barricades that we could use for the roadway, and I think some stop sticks for some of the cruisers.
I'm just curious if other communities around have this, because this is, it's almost like a no-brainer kind of technology we should be using, everybody should be using.
It's a Next Gen has got quite a bite on the market for law enforcement and public safety software. They have the Connecticut State Police is their biggest customer, so to speak, in Connecticut. They have some other larger cities that also have us. We've been with them right from the beginning. We've been with them since 2000, so we're one of the long-term and first clients that they've had, and they've come a long way.
Excellent.
Yeah. As far as the Walter T. Benary Scholarship, I do not have any requests this month for scholarship consideration. Uniform Services, ISU, put them together because they've been working together pretty well lately. As I mentioned last month, we've had an uptick in some of the nighttime burglaries, and region's been getting hit at night with some commercial burglaries. One of the more notable ones, and it might be in your packet, is a break that occurred at the Best Buy. I don't want to go into too much detail on it because I certainly don't want to compromise the investigation, but I can tell you that this was a very professional burglary. It's got interstate complications, and our investigators are working with the FBI and police departments from outside of Connecticut. It was, like I said, it was a major break, had some major losses, and unfortunately, we got hit. I mean, we're located right there, right off exit 9, so the interstate is in play. Jump off, jump on. I talked about
Did they have cameras where they could see?
They do have some. Some of it's helpful, but again, the way the mechanics of the burglary, it's going to be very, very difficult to get some of the facial recognition, I think. I think that's fair to say.
I'm thinking an electronics store that sells that stuff probably should have a pretty good system.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that later. We're also working on 2 robberies that occurred the past month. Convenience store gas stations. We have a suspect identified in one of them, and I was talking to one of the detectives this morning, and he didn't think that they were related, but we'll see. They were both on the same day. One was early morning, one was late at night, but at this point, they don't look like they're related, from what I'm told anyway. As far as the support services and traffic, 2 new 2019 cruisers did arrive. They are being outfitted for patrol. Our professional standards and training, as we mentioned, 2 recruits in the academy. Actually, technically, there's 3. Rich De Palma graduates Friday, and he will begin his 10-week field training almost immediately. And then Officer Burke is up in Meriden at Post, and Officer Stevens, our newest recruit, is down in Milford at the Milford PD Recruit Academy. That just started this past week. We had a department-wide mental health training for all of our officers and our civilian staff. This, and I think I may have mentioned this in months past or years past, mental health is it's a hot stove issue for law enforcement. I think last year alone, at one point last year alone, they lost more police officers across the United States as a result of suicide than they did in other line of duty deaths. So it's a hot topic. It's something where we want to keep our people as whole as possible. I mean, everybody knows that they're going to get a little ding here and there physically in the course of 25 or 30 years on the job. And the same holds probably true for some of their mental status. But we want to make sure that if any of them are in need of any type of mental health, and a lot of it's preventable. You know, a lot of it's, and the more we expose these officers to this, it's just that much better for them. We don't want to lose anybody to anything. We want to keep them physically sound. We want to keep them spiritually sound, mentally sound, because if they can't take care of themselves, they can't take care of other people. So it's.
Is this something that's going to happen on a periodic basis?
Yeah, we've been really we've been pushing it. Even the Connecticut Chiefs of Police have been training. They're all together on this. This is like I said, it's a hot stove item. But we've been good. We had Dr. Gil Martin in here a couple of years ago. This woman here that we had, she was really good. And she didn't cost us a lot of money. I think we only paid her like $1,500. You know, so that was a home run for us. We had Dr. Gil Martin came in from Arizona a couple of years ago. We had to split the cost with East Haven and Hamden, and that was another training we had. So it's important. You know, a lot of these people see a lot of bad in the course of 30 years, and it wears them down. And you know, we really got to take care of these people.
Quick question. Are these training sessions required, or they're initiated by you or the state, or are they connected to the police, or mandated, or how is it determined?
Well, some of the training is mandated by post. I don't know if the mental health training has gotten to the recertification hours yet.
Annual. Yeah.
Is it annual? Okay.
So it's mandatory, and the cost still comes. It's still a cost we have to incur, even though it's
Right.
mandatory. Okay.
Right.
Is it through the EAP that we use?
We could use it. We try to mix it up.
you
So
have
like,
other-
we have used REAP before for different things. I can't remember this woman's name, but she was pretty dynamic. She was very, very good. Dr. Gil Martin is a national known fellow from Arizona. So you know, you give everybody a little different taste of how it is, and I think it's well worth the money. And then as far as the power DMS from last month, if anybody has any issues, let us know. I'm gonna try to help you out with that. As the chairman mentioned, our construction of the new building, it's continues to move forward. There's been a lot of work on the inside of the old building, and I think that you probably used the best word by saying they integrated the former building into this newer structure. It's really, really, you'd be surprised. For the commissioners that have been around a while, if you've been through that building for the past 10, 15, 20 years, to see the layout now, because the walls are going up inside, you're going to see quite a difference. We can arrange, it'd probably be best if we could do a group somehow, if we can arrange for, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning. Go in there where we're not really getting in anybody's way, because at 9 o'clock in the morning, sometimes they're taking a break. I think they were taking a break when we went in there
They were.
at 9 o'clock. So, we'll meet at the trailer. We'll get construction helmets, safety glasses, and a safety vest on, and we could just walk through it. And when you see it, you may have only seen the lobby, maybe, and not too much of the police building in the past. But when you really see it, you're gonna go, wow! It's really come a long way. And then the other things I have would be for some personnel issues for the executive session. I have nothing else.
Anything from the commission?
I'd just like to again state that I see the numbers up for traffic stops, which I'm pleased with. I think it provides a sense of security for all of us, so thank you for that.
Anything else? Have a motion to move to executive session for purposes of discussing personnel matters.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. May I have a motion to move back into regular session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So we have vacancies at the captain, lieutenant, and sergeant levels to potentially fill. So why don't we start out with captain?
I'll make that motion.
What motion would that be?
The motion is that we make Lieutenant Stan Loftquist a captain.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Aye.
So that motion carries. We have one vacancy for lieutenant position. Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we offer the lieutenant position to Matthew Falcon.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. And I think with those two promotions, we have 2 slots for sergeant to fill. May I have a motion for one of the sergeant's positions?
I'll make that motion. So I'll make the motion that we promote Officer Christopher Spose to sergeant.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That carries. And is there a motion to fill the second sergeant vacancy?
I'll make a motion we fill it. Vacancy with John Gaspar.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And that motion carries. So congratulations to Stan Loftquist, Matt Falcon, Chris Spose, and John Gaspar.
Motion to adjourn, or how to
Yeah.
make a motion that we...
You want to just take that offline?
What's that? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.